welcome to another episode of the Zebra Crossing. Today with us we have Nileshs Gule, who is an enterprise architect at DBS Bank. He also has a very interesting YouTube channel. It has some of the content that we are talking about today. So if you want to get to know him more, you can go and visit his YouTube channel. Hi Kaka, how are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So can you tell us a bit about your background and how you really got into the tech industry?
Yeah, sure. I was born and brought up in Goa, and then I did my schooling, everything in Goa. And when it was time to start my career, I moved to Bangalore. I was in Bangalore for about 8 years, where I started in my IT career. I started in a night shift actually. My first job was as a software developer, working all night, and then I used to sleep all day. Then moved across different industries. I worked in financial industries in Bangalore. I worked in retail, and for last about 13 or 14 years, I've been living in Singapore, working for some of the banks here.
Okay. Now, my first question for you is, what are the current trends you're seeing in the tech world today, and how do you think these trends will impact our future?
There's a lot of automation happening all around us. So I see automating most of the things is in progress. We see most of the common activities or tools that we use, they are injecting a lot of AI and things into it. Things
Okay.
which we were doing right from the scratch in past 10 years or 20 years ago. Now they are almost like everybody is giving something or the other in terms of automation, and AI is playing a very key role there. Cloud technologies is another thing which I see is growing quite fast.
Okay.
So in terms of trend, I would say automation is one, and second thing is growth of cloud.
And how do you keep updated with these growing?
I have different ways or methods of keeping updated. I usually go to a lot of conferences or meetups or user group events where people talk about these new tools, technologies, new strategies, new approaches. That's one way. The other is to go through online content. I subscribe to a lot of people who are like industry experts on, let's say, Twitter, for example.
Okay.
Follow their Twitter handles, and then when they post something interesting, I keep myself updated by reading those. And I'm also quite a hands-on person. So when I find something interesting, I like to try it out myself.
Okay.
So that's another way for me to learn. And once I learn, I think I've always done this in the past, that when you teach the same thing to others, you learn twice. That's a benefit we get by sharing our knowledge. So that is how I try to keep updated myself and try to keep others updated with what I've learned.
So does your YouTube channel play a part in that?
Yes, it does. That's part of my theory, if you say, or that's part of my belief that when you teach others, you learn twice.
Okay. I would like to talk about artificial intelligence. How do you think it is impacting us today? Because like it's all over the newspaper, social media, everywhere it's there.
Yes. In a way, it's good. I would say there has been artificial intelligence has been there for quite a long time. If you have used smartphones, it was there 5 years or even 10 years ago. Things like Facebook used to do auto tagging long back. So some form or the other of artificial intelligence has been there around. It's just that we might not know it is a form of artificial intelligence, and we might have been using it in the past. What has changed recently is the large language models or LLMs or ChatGPT changed that drastically over the last 8 or 9 months since its release, where it has made it very easy for people to ask a question in normal language like English, and then the response is coming in the same form. So it becomes easier for even non-technical people to ask a simple question and to get a response. And that is the kind of experience we are seeing. I'll share one example where one of my friend was traveling to US recently, and he wanted to plan his trip. He used the co-pilot feature, and he asked the co-pilot to plan his trip and suggest places where he could go, book hotels, flight timings. Instead of we going and doing these searches in, let's say, Google or any of the browser, it is all done by AI now. And the recommendations that are coming, they are quite relevant, sometimes even better than a human. So that is the kind of impact I am seeing of AI, and generative AI to be very specific. It's going to help the mankind in a long way.
But is it going to take our jobs?
No, I don't think that is going to happen. It is going to make our jobs easier. AI is not going to take our job. I said this some time back that it's not the AI who is going to take away the job, but it's the people who know how to use AI and the companies who know how to use AI. Those are the guys who will take our jobs.
Okay. Now, what is ethical use of AI and when does it become unethical?
AI is based on the trainings. So whatever data sets we give to the models they predict or they perform things based on the data that is supplied to them. So it all depends on the kind of data that is provided, and that is where the ethics comes into the picture. Let's say we are building a model for identifying who is the right person for a job. If we don't give diverse set of data to it, it might be very opinionated in a way, and it can give recommendations based on its own logic. That is where I think we need to be careful in terms of what kind of data we are giving to AI, and we have to make sure that the models which are built, they are not biased towards, let's say, one particular gender or one particular race or one particular country for that matter.
Okay. There was a recent article in the Straits Times that said that AI is being biased because with Women's Day coming up, it said that AI was being biased. What do you think about this?
I think bias again comes from the experience. There was this recent case again in one of the newspaper where a lawyer, he went to ChatGPT and he started asking some questions to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT generated some responses to him with fake case references and all. And he took these references assuming that it is correct, and he went to the court with those references, and he was in fact penalized for that because he didn't do the cross verification. So AI, because it is based on this set of models based on the training data, if the training data is not proper, we will not get the proper answer. So in terms of the data that is fed to the AI models, it's very important that it is trained with the right data, and then that data keeps changing. If we do the model building, let's say until last year, and then there are things which happened during last 12 months, if we don't feed this data again, the model would be outdated over a period of time. So we have to make sure that the model is always updated and it has the right amount of information to make the informed decision. Even when it gives us the suggestion, it is the need or it is the responsibility of the person to make sure that they verify the data. Some AI models, they give like a provenance, from there they got this information and they gave us the link, we can cross verify, but in most cases we have to make sure that whatever answers we got from AI, it is proper, it is well within the confines of what is justifiable and what is legal.
Okay. How do you see AI involving in our daily lives in the next 10 years?
I think we will have more and more services and tools based on AI. Copilot, for example, is coming as feature in many of the things we use in day-to-day life. As a developer or even as a normal user, you can use Copilot on your iPad, for example. Your browser has a Copilot feature. So like this, I see AI being integrated into our daily tools and services and products that we use. And it will come in almost everything that we are going to use in future.
Okay. What advice will you give to someone like me who is looking forward to entering this industry in the next few years?
Yeah, this is quite a common question I get from many people, and I think my personal experience has been that there is a lot of buzzwords, there are a lot of keywords going around. You might hear things around Web3, decentralization, there is AI, there is generative AI, and it is quite easy to get lost in all these things. You can easily move from one topic to another without really understanding what you are trying to do or what you want to achieve. So as a beginner, I always advise people to focus on one area, get your knowledge, get your skills in one area of work, and as you do that, also keep an eye on what's happening in the other areas. Don't get restricted or don't stick to only one area of work.
Okay.
You build your profile in one area, but also keep an eye on what's happening in the market, what's happening in the rest of the areas which you might be interested in, and then you can switch over. You can build those skills over a period of time. You don't have to be skilled in 10 different things from day one. When you start looking at opportunities or when you want to learn something new, focus on one area, and then you can apply the concept that you learn in that one area to other areas of life, other areas of work. That's my advice which I give.
Okay. And what are some of the challenges that you see that tech industry is going to face?
Uh, One of the bigger challenge is having the right people, right resources. I think technology is changing at a very rapid pace. When I started my career, like a programming language used to upgrade every 2 years. So it was easier for someone to learn it over a period of 2 years time and be a master or a very expert professional in that language, say Java or .NET. Now if you see, there is a new version coming up every month almost, and the kind of languages or kind of technologies have come up so fast, so many. It can be a quite huge challenge for people to learn so many things in a short period of time. So I think that ability to learn, unlearn and relearn is quite important because things change very rapidly, and what was working 5 years back may not work 5 years from now. So we have to be able to cope up with these drastic changes which are happening, especially in technology area, and be ready to just learn something new.
Okay, so that's all the questions I have for you today. Thank you very much for being on the Zebra Crossing.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.